And it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't. Because it's the one thing I didn't check beforehand. There we go. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's Wednesday night Q&A, so if you've got questions, ask them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Assuming all my equipment works the way it's supposed to, which is apparently always maybe not. So I do have a little bit of drone footage to show you. If you're a follower on Instagram or Twitter, you've already seen a piece of this footage, not the whole bit, but I'm going to show you the whole bit tonight. I had the privilege of going out with somebody in a helicopter to a glacier that's a ways away, and because there's a spectacular ice cave out there, and flew my FPV drone. Well, actually, I flew my Mavic through there too. Wrecked it. Not like destroyed it, but I did wreck it. My Mavic going through there, and then flew my FPV drone through there a bunch. It was so cold that I would do a flight, because I hate flying with gloves on. I can't do it. So I'd take my gloves off, do a flight, and then spend 20 minutes warming my hands up to where I could feel them again. And I had my little hot packs, everything, like it was cold. It was even colder inside the ice cave, but it was a spectacular day. Absolutely beautiful. So I'll play that footage for you just a little bit. And like I said, if you've seen a little clip of it on Twitter or Instagram already, but I'm going to show you the whole thing and maybe a couple of other clips like from the Mavic and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. That video is the closest thing I've had to anything going viral on Instagram or Twitter. It's like 10,000 views on Twitter-ish and 20-ish thousand on Instagram. But on TikTok, I posted it on TikTok, and it's almost to 1 million views since last night, which is mind-boggling. It just makes no sense to me at all, but whatever. So, yeah. And, yeah, Maddie Kapoya commented and liked it. And then, oh, my God. If you're an FPV flyer, you know who Oh My God is, liked it on Instagram, and so it's kind of bizarre. Anyway, cool, but bizarre. This is the problem. When you live around places like this all the time, and you go to places like this a lot, I mean, that place was spectacular, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, like, it wasn't a great place. But there are times when I look at this stuff and I'm like, it's flying FPV in a glacier ice cave. I've walked through glacier ice caves, probably 100 times now. Like, they're cool. That cave was spectacular, but at the same time, I'm like, it is what it is. And then I forget that other people don't experience this stuff on a regular basis. So it's very, it's been interesting. So, yeah, if this is your first time, welcome. Good to have you here. Tonight is a question and answer night. I started doing this live stream because I get tons of questions in the comments, and I try and respond to every comment. But the problem is I respond once, and I don't get the chance to respond again. And even now, it's getting more difficult for me to keep up with the amount of comments I have coming in. So I started this live stream a while back, just to have a chance where if you've got questions, you can ask them in the comments in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. Other people are in the chat who know a lot as well, and they can help answer them. And so that's part of what this community is about, helping each other grow. So, all right. Now that I've said my piece, I'm going to jump in and say hi and look at the chat, because I know there's been a couple of questions already. Let's see, Phantom Flight 101, good to have you here. I hope you people in the South are warming up, in the south of us are warming up. It has been so cold up here for so long. Not putting a name. That's a great screen name. Do I recommend the A7 III with the 24 1.4 G Master lens? Depending on what you're shooting, yes, the 24 1.4 G Master lens, which is what I'm using right now, is a fantastic lens. Absolutely beautiful. Great performance, especially in low light. And the A7 III is a great camera for all around photos and videos. So yeah, yes. Thank you, Mark H. Greetings. Ben Lockwood, do I have the footage of when I crashed? I do. I don't know if I'm going to show that tonight. Basically, I crashed every time because I couldn't go all the way. The cave was a quarter mile long or so, and very thick ice, and I couldn't quite go all the way through without losing video on the FPV quad, and so I'd go as far as I could and then just disarm and crash land. Yeah. Let's see. Felipe, I hope I get your names right. I'm sorry if I don't, but you ask, vlogging with the S21 Ultra in a windy situation sound is awful. Using an external mic is the solution? Yes. And one of the best mics for that is the Rode Wireless Go. Really great. It's got good wind muffs, or the Wireless Go 2 now, but the Wireless Go, I think they're still selling the regular Wireless Go. But if you have trouble with wind and you don't want to have the big fuzzy thing attached here, then put it on the underside of your shirt or jacket, and it will deal with almost all of the wind sound. So that will help you out tremendously. Well, let's see. Andre asks, what ND filters would I recommend for the Mini 2? I highly recommend the Freewell ND filters for the Mini 2. They're not the cheapest out there. They're also not the most expensive, but they're fantastic. Really good quality, good optics, and they will last you for quite a while. So I recommend Freewell filters. They're not... I guess they kind of sponsor the channel in that they send me free filters every now and then, but I've also purchased quite a few of their filters on my own, and I really like them. I also have filters by other brands, and I will say the Freewell filters have withstood the most abuse and are still working the best and looking the best as far as like scratches and scrapes on the glass and things like that. So whatever Freewell's doing on their coatings on their filters is fantastic. Eddie, it's been really nice out in New York City. I'm not jealous at all. Not at all. Well, I'm freezing up here. I'm really ready for spring. And we got, 5-6 inches of snow on the way tonight, so we got a little ways to go before spring. Let's see. Good lavalier mic for a mobile phone, iPhone 12 Max Pro. I like the Deedee. Deedee makes a good one. It's the, what is it called? The VLab, WLab. Anyway, Deedee makes a great one that works with phones, and it's like $50-ish, really good, and plugs straight into the little dongle for the iPhone 12 Pro, and it has a nice long cable, so you don't have to be like right next to your phone, and you can like tuck it through your shirt and make the cable disappear if you want to and stuff like that. So that's what I would do. Mark H, could I set up signal booster relays like Wi-Fi web to make it through the cave all the way? Not that I'm aware of, Mark, partly because it would introduce a lot more latency and I probably wouldn't make it through the cave anyway, but also I don't believe there's any way to do that with the DJI HD FPV system. And then for those of you wondering too, when I flew through the cave, that was not the DJI FPV quad. That was my regular kind of exploration FPV quad that I built with the GoPro Hero 8 on it. Let's see. Do I use a field monitor? No, I do not, Mike Farley. I just use the screen built onto the camera. And the reason for that is, and I will have a video coming about this soon, kind of like my minimal filmmaking kit and what it's like to go with me. I'm basically going to take you along with me on a trip to do one of the videos that I do. And I try and go as minimal as possible just because of the amount of weight that I generally have to carry on my back. And yeah, so thanks, Andre. Good to see you. Which link, Ben? I'm curious which link you mean. As they are out of stock from time to time, and that might have been part of the issue, but let me know which ND filter set specifically you're referring to. Let's see, the DJI RS2 would be a substantial upgrade from the Weebill S. It would be in the amount of weight it can handle and what its capabilities are. Yes, it would be a pretty good upgrade. But, I mean, if my Weebill S hadn't basically hit the end of itself because I abused the crap out of it, I would still be using the Weebill S. So instead, I got the RSC2, which is good. I think if I had it to do over again, I would probably do the RS2, just because it's not much bigger, it's not much heavier, and I generally don't take it out in the woods with me anyway. I use it, when I'm doing client stuff. So yeah. Anyway, Ben Lockwood, 70-degree day in Michigan. Dang it, Just don't. I don't want to hear about it. it's almost to freezing today. Like almost to where it's not freezing today. I should say, it's like in the mid-20s, I think. Logan, you bought an A7 III yesterday. Excited to start using it. Fantastic. If you want to know like how I set mine up and settings and stuff like that, I do have a video on the channel for it. And then of course, you know, lenses and stuff like that. I've got a video about that. But congratulations. Good camera. Wang, thank you. Appreciate it. What's my favorite DJI drone? Oh, Wang, that's a good one. I am going to have a video coming about that very soon. You'll have to wait and find out. And the answer is always, it depends. But yeah, I do like the Mavic 2 Pro. I love the Mavic 2 Pro. It's a great drone. It's a just dream to work with. I also like the Mini 2 is fantastic because it's so small and portable. But yeah. Eddie Nunez, what do I think about DJI ending production of their air units? I'm not surprised, given the shortage of being able to get chips and circuit boards and some of the stuff that they use on the air units. It doesn't surprise me. Caddx is going to keep manufacturing the Vista Pro and stuff like that. But to me, it also says, like, and it shouldn't be surprising considering the technology they put in the FPV drone, the DJI FPV drone, that DJI is probably looking at producing or getting ready to produce a version 2 of that air unit. But it might be a while till they actually get it to market because of the constrictions on chips and things like that. Alaska Filmer, yes, I can show you the clips. So all right, so this is the whole or most of the video anyway that I've shown clips of on Instagram and Twitter. And it doesn't look like I'm going really fast, but when you're flying it and you're aiming for a small hole in the ground, knowing that you've got to kind of make your way through, it feels like you're flying insanely fast. I mean, I think I was probably going 50 when I went in there, but I wanted to actually dive at a steeper angle. I just couldn't without wrecking. I just couldn't do it without wrecking. So, and this is the helicopter I rode in out there, which was really fun. Really cool guy that flies for a company out there in Palmer area. And yeah, this was actually my very first trip into the cave with the FPV drone to kind of feel out how it was going to be in there. And yeah, very, very fun. Let's see. Nevis Quads, changing vendors, Fan42, Logan, thanks. Hey, Mike Babs, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll show you another clip here in a second of something else. But let's see. First, I got to do that, and then I have to do this, and this, and this, and then I have to find that. Okay, yeah. All right. But before I show you that, I'm going to go back here. There we go. Brian, how are the drone tutorials coming? They're coming, actually. I filmed about an hour's worth the other day, I think. Hopefully, if it turned out. And yeah, so it is actually coming. It is getting together. The Pocket 2 ND filters. Oh, that link should work, but I'll double check it, Ben. But those should work. And right now they are. I didn't know this when I recorded the video because I actually recorded that video like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Those are in pre-order and they're set to ship by the end of this month. So they're pre-order, but only by about a week, and then they'll be coming. So I'll double check that link here in a bit and see. LCS, if I'm going to try a lithium-ion battery pack with my FPV drones. No. Well, yes, I would like to. I haven't yet, mostly because I need the performance of lithium polymer LiPo batteries, but I do want to try a lithium-ion battery pack. I think it would be pretty cool. Yeah, Mark, it was incredible. I rented the Sony 12-24 specifically for that trip, and so I've got to finish up. I didn't get the chance to record everything I wanted to for the review of that lens, but I did take it with me and filmed everything with that lens, so it'll be really, really good. Alaska Filmer, that is not the Knik, no. Although I hear there are some good spots out on the Knik, but yeah, that's not the Knik. Let's see. Yeah, that's about an hour flight away, I think. I think that's about how long we flew to get there. Michael, you hope the Mini 2 can have a 20 megapixel for photo. It can't. It's 12 right now. The Mini 3, they might do some sort of magic and make it like, the quad Bayer sensor and do, 48 or something like that. But right now the Mini 2 is limited to 12. Does take nice photos, and you can do the super wide photo, which meshes 9 of them together, and they look well. Aaron, have I ever used the Ronin SC? If so, would I recommend it for about $279? Looking at buying your first gimbal for personal use. So I did use the Ronin SC. I did reviews of it and comparisons of it on the channel. I would recommend you go get the Weebill S instead. It's not much more, but you're going to get much better results from the Weebill S than you would the Ronin SC, stability-wise. So, all right. And so before I show you this clip, I need to give a little disclaimer because God almighty, people do things. So don't ever try this without carefully coordinating and having permission and knowing that everything is safe and that everything is fine. Just, I'm always so hesitant to show these kind of clips on my channel just because this was all carefully coordinated between me and the pilot. We planned everything out ahead of time. We were in radio contact and let's see what else. We were in Class G airspace. So don't try this stuff. Just don't try it. I guess that's the way I could say it. Just don't try it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It's dangerous. But I will show you a clip. Anyway, so yeah. He was kind enough to drop me off so I could jump out with my gear, and then he flew around so that I could do just a little bit of filming of him coming into land and then shutting the helicopter down and stuff, which was really cool because this is a spectacular location. Obviously, it's really, really spectacular, and yeah, I think that's it. It's short. There's more, but I didn't have time to edit any more than that, so. Mark G, Class G airspace is good. Yes, Class G airspace is good. And so before we left, we talked, and I just said, I was like, this is what I'd like to do. I think it'd be cool. But it's 100% whatever you're comfortable with, talking to the pilot. So, we got out there, he planned everything. I hopped out and told him exactly where the drone would be, how high it would be from the ground, so that he knew exactly where it was. And I said, I won't move it until after you've touched down, and it'll. So anyway, so he flew around, and then as he was coming in, he found the drone in the sky, so he knew exactly where it was, and then landed. And yeah, very, very cool footage. So great helicopter pilot, really fun to fly with. It was kind of windy on the way out, and yeah, it was fun. Alaska filmer, VFX filmer, that is the Nelchina Glacier, I think, if I remember right, the Nelchina Glacier. It's that one or the next one over, which is, starts with a T. I don't remember the other one. Anyway, Mark H, was I in radio contact? Yes. So I had a portable handheld radio so that we could coordinate, once I launched the drone, because he took off, circled, went a little way away, kind of touched down and waited for me to tell him that I was ready. And then I coordinated from there via the handheld radio and told him how high the drone was. And yeah, so very, very cool, very fun. I hope he and I are talking about doing some other stuff this summer, maybe. We were going to try and do some stuff last summer, but by the time we were both ready and our schedules were synced up and stuff, the weather was terrible, and so we didn't do anything. But yeah, we'll see. This live will self-destruct in 25 seconds for protection purposes. Yes, exactly, Mike Farley. And it's just, I hesitate to put stuff out there, not because I did anything wrong. Everything I did was fine, but other people will see that, ignore all of the disclaimers and the warnings, and then just go down to their local airport and try it or something like that. And, it just, people don't understand the dangers of it, and when they see that stuff, they don't understand the amount of thought, coordination, planning that goes into something just simple like that to make sure that it is done in a safe manner. Anyway. So, what else? What else was I going to talk about tonight? I don't really remember. Yeah. There's those things. The million view video on TikTok, which is crazy, has brought in like 2,000 followers over there, almost 2,000. It's mind-blowing. I didn't expect it to go like that. And I posted on Instagram and Twitter, and it really grew there too, which is just wild. Crazy. Let's see. Ben Lockwood, how do you get the 360 3D panorama off your Mini so that you can use something like a VR headset? I don't know about a VR headset, but I do know when you post a 360 panorama from the Mini on Facebook, which it should be in your album in the app here, then it stores it locally in your app, not on the drone. The drone will store the photos, the individual photos, but not the actual like stitched together image. At least I don't think it will. I have to double check that, Ben. But yeah, and then you post it on Facebook and you can see it like move around and see everything, and you could probably use your VR headset that way. I don't know that you can put it directly into a VR headset and look at it the same way. Lon Dinner, you're tired of amateur drone police? You and me both, Lon. It gets old and exhausting trying to explain to people what is legal and what is not legal, and also what is safe and what is not safe. It's the reason that there's massive, very intensive geofencing built into DJI drones. Anyway. Michael Y., you plan to visit Alaska this summer? Non-stop flight to Anchorage from San Francisco? Fantastic. I hope you have a great trip up here, Michael, when you're here. I hope you have a fantastic trip. Let's see. Mark H., you got the Insta360 ONE X2. You can only edit from your Android phone, not Mac iOS and not PC. Really, Mark? So I have, let's see. I can edit on this, which is a Apple phone. And then I downloaded the Insta360 Studio app onto my Mac, and I edit on that. I'm pretty sure they make it for PC as well, but it's a standalone thing. You don't they offer plugins for Premiere, and they're working on one for Final Cut Pro. Wouldn't help you because you're not either of those, but yeah, you should be able to do that on PC as well. Now you've got me wondering. I really do like the Insta360 X2. It's really, really fantastic. Mike Farley, do I use mist filters like the Tiffin Pro Black? I don't use the Tiffin ones per se, but I do use the ones that Freewell released recently. They're variable ND with mist built in, and those are they're like a the 2 to 5 stop is like around an 1/8 stop or an 1/8 mist, and then the 6 to 9 stop is more like a 1/4 mist. But I do use those, especially if I'm out shooting in really harsh light, to try and just soften things up a little bit. iOS and Android, it should be available for that. There's the firmware. And then Insta360 Studio for Mac and Windows. It says it. I don't know. Yeah, it's there. That's weird. Mark, that's interesting. I don't know why that would be. Yeah. Permafrost. Wait, there are regulations on drones? No, man. Not for you and me. We can do whatever we want. Yeah, Permafrost. So I was showing people earlier, well, I can play it again. This here. And again, this was all carefully done and pre-coordinated within radio contact in Class G airspace. So don't think that this was like, hey, there's a helicopter coming in. I'm going to throw my drone up in the air and see if I can film it while he lands. That was not the case in this at all. But yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, here there are regulations for drones, just like there are regulations for pretty much everything in this life anymore. You know, is what it is. So, and then the other thing, I'll play it again because it's pretty dang good and I like it a lot. There we go. So then this is the other thing I played for people, which this is getting a lot of traction on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. That clip right there, just that much. That's all I posted so far. And people like it a lot. Yeah, exactly, Permafrost. It was, and I hesitate to even play video like that on my channel because I you know, even with the disclaimer, I'm always worried like somebody's gonna go, oh cool, I'm gonna go down to my airport and film airplanes and helicopters so they come into land. So, but you know, we were out in the middle of nowhere. I had a radio. We were in contact. We're out in uncontrolled airspace and pre-planned everything so that you know, he was good with it and comfortable with it, and I was good with it and comfortable with it. So it turned out great. It was really, really cool. It was brutally cold. My fingers were just frozen, man. Every single time I do a flight, and then I'd have to spend 20 minutes so I could feel my hands again, and then do another flight. Because the FPV, that was the total of, I think that was three flights, and then I flew my Mavic through there a couple times. Once when I hit the wall and it didn't make it all the way through, and then another time where it did make it all the way through. And then I did like a pullback. Oh, I could show you guys the pullback shot. I think I have it set. It's always fun trying to do this stuff live and on the fly because it's, yeah. So yeah, here's the pullback shot. So this is also the Mavic here. Just, you know, for fun. By the way, for those of you that think, oh, and see if you can find the helicopter. Find the helicopter way down the lower right-hand corner. Way down there. By the way, so that pullback shot only took me like 10 or 12 tries because the drone would not have any GPS signal in the cave. So it's all ADI mode. It's drifting and moving a little bit because it's also kind of low light, so the sensors can't see well, and I have the sensors off anyway because they're just, and then I would pull out and it would get GPS signal really quick, and as soon as it got GPS signal, it would always go like it would turn left or turn right, and so the whole image would shift. Dear Lord, it was so hard to get it to just do a nice straight pullback. Yeah. So, let's see. Thanks, Permafrost. Last you checked, it's not illegal to film helicopters on the ground with a drone. It's not. But the thing that worries me is that people will see that and take that as, oh, it's fine to run around and just film aircraft, anywhere, and not be aware of the danger or, like for me, I'm fine with it. I've done it a couple of times where I've followed airplanes or helicopters. But it has always been where I'm in contact with the pilot. We have pre-planned a bunch of flight paths so that we both know what's going on, and it looks amazing. But it always worries me that somebody's going to go, "Cool, I'm going to go out and do that," and not, not think about the fact that maybe they should talk to the pilots and pre-plan stuff and coordinate stuff. So there will be more of that this summer. I don't know when, and I don't know exactly how, but there will be more. And it's the same thing. We go out to a place where there's no controlled airspace, there's no airspace issues at all, very low traffic area, which is tough to find in Alaska, and radio contact, all coordinated and ready to go. So, Alaska Filmer, it does look unreal. That cave was huge, by the way. You can see a photo of me standing in it on Instagram. But it's like, I can show it to you here, actually. Because the power of technology, and that cave has been there for a few years now, I guess. And there's just a little tiny stream that runs through it every summer and has just slowly whittled away the cave. So there's me standing in it. The ceiling had to be 30 feet high, maybe. And you can see the light coming through the ceiling above me there. It was a good 15, 20 feet wide in most places. So it's a pretty cool experience. Very, very cool place. Hope to go back there. I hope to go back in the summer. I talked to the helicopter pilot after the fact. We were scheming about things we could go out there and do this summer. So we'll see. Lawn, it looks like green screen. Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome, Permafrost. That would be cool. By the way, the Citabria looks pretty awesome. It looks fantastic. I hope everything's going well with it. It looks like it is. So, and congratulations on getting that thing up and running. So let's see. Brad Henderson, Air 2S potential thoughts. Brad, so my potential thoughts, which is me just talking out my rear end, because other than the leaks that I'm sure most of you have seen, I who knows? I don't think it'll be a substantial upgrade from the Air 2. I think if you haven't purchased an Air 2 or Mavic or a Mini 2 or something like that, then it will be a great drone to get and to start with. But yeah, I don't think it'll be a significant upgrade from the Air 2. Like a kind of upgrade where you'd be like, hey, I'm going to get rid of my Air 2 and buy the Air 2S. I probably will, to work with it, review it, test it, and all that, and let you all know my opinion on it and stuff. But yeah, I really hope they release a Mavic 3 this year. My Mavic 2 is getting long in the tooth, and it works great. It's fantastic. I still love it, but I would like them to release a new Mavic Pro or something equivalent of that with some improvements would be great. Michael Y. Yeah, it does require heavier hardware. It requires a lot more intensive processor or a lot more powerful processor, because it's got to take so many pictures so fast, which means reading out the sensor really quick, and then it has to layer those pictures together to do it. Or you have to use a quad Bayer sensor, which the Mavic Air or the Mini 2 doesn't have. So the Air has a quad Bayer sensor, which means it can divide those pixels up into 4 parts and expose them differently. So it could do like 2 and 2. So one is exposed bright and one is exposed dark, and then it combines those. And that's how the HDR on the Air 2 works. You can't do that with a sensor that doesn't have that quad Bayer sensor. How adjustable are the DJI goggles with the new FPV drone for a guy with bad eyes? Mark, if your glasses Bud, if your glasses can fit in the goggles, you'd be fine. I know a lot of people with goggles or glasses fly with them. I use contacts, so it's not a big deal for me. But yeah, they're nice goggles. And you can get diopters to insert if you don't want to put your glasses inside. You can put these little diopters in and make it work for your eyes. Jude, what camera am I using and what lens size? So I'm using the A7S III and the Sony 24mm 1.4 G Master lens for this. Permafrost. Pre-planned is the thing, folks. You may know some folks with that, with manned aviation and UAS together. I bet you do. I bet you do. For those of you that don't know, Permafrost actually works intensively with unmanned aerial systems in north of me a ways. And yeah, intensively. Let's see. I need a good volcano to win on Instagram. Ice caves or so last year. Andy. Yeah. I know. That's what, but that also kind of surprised me. I was like, yeah, there's no way. I mean, everybody's like, that volcano clip of the FPV guy flying over the volcano has just gone nuts. And so, like, you know, and I was like, man, if he and I could just coordinate, we could do a like fire and ice. That'd be cool. Jeremy, the cave is fake until you see it in real life. I'm working on that. I am working on that, man. I'm waiting to hear back from somebody, and then I'll shoot you a message. Let's see. You ordered LC. You ordered the Baby Hawk 2 HD 250 gram FPV drone. Yeah, great, awesome. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you really have fun flying it. PC Link. You're welcome, Mark. Yeah, I was gonna say if you didn't find it, I was gonna shoot it to you, but you found it. Awesome. Absolutely, permafrost. I'm looking at sometime this summer. There's rumblings about sometime this summer. Oh! I forgot to play that. Oh dang! I don't know if I can. So, well, yeah, okay. Let's see if I can. Let me see if I can do this. Y'all, hold on a second. So you all remember when I went to Chicago, to Illinois, in the January, right? You all remember that? Let me see if I can make this work. Let's see. I'm gonna go back into studio mode here. Let's see, Safari, browser. Let's see. Can I do it this way? Okay, yeah. This might work. You might not be able to hear the video of it, but you know, whatever. You have to suck it up. All right, let me see. This should work. So if you remember when I went and did some filming with Caterpillar, they released their teaser yesterday. And this is their teaser for the project that I was working on with them. So any of the FPV shots you see here are mine, I think. There was one other guy that we messed around together, but pretty much all of them are my shots as far as I can remember. But yeah, super fun project. I'm very curious to see how they all end up, because there's like 25 contestants that ran through this course, and that was me messing around on my lunch break right there. But super intense project, but very, very fun to work on, and a fantastic crew. The filming crew that was part of this project. There was 12 or 13 of us. Or more. There might have been more. I'm pretty sure there's 12 of us, and everybody was amazing, like on their game, doing just incredible work for 4 days straight. It was really, really good. But yeah, it was intensive and fun flying. So, and this building inside this maze, at the end, I got to fly my big FPV drone with the red Komodo on it through the maze at high speed. Like they asked me, and I'm hoping the footage shows up on one of the future episodes that they're going to release. But like, so this is me, of course. And yeah, like going through that maze with all the lighting and the rigging and all the ops, that's me too, of course. It was tons of fun. But going through that course at a high rate of speed with my big FPV drone and a red Komodo on there and an expensive lens, basically going as fast as I could, was interesting and fun. It was interesting. So, all right. I think I might have missed some of your questions. Hey, Kevin, the basic filmmaker. Good to see you. You're waiting impatiently, Jeremy. I'm trying, man. I really am. I'm trying. Let's see. So on the goggles, do they have a diopter adjustment? You can buy diopters, but they do, like, you can move the lenses in and out, but you can also buy diopter inserts to match your specific vision, depending on what you have. Let's see. You have a mount for the Pocket 2 on the Citabria now too? That's awesome. I'd love to see how that works. Okay, when you shoot 4K on the Mini 2, it creates multiple separate files. All the files are like 5 minutes long. That's normal, right? You know, Michael, that's interesting. I've never shot 5 minutes. I always shoot in short clips because I prefer to edit that way. Yeah. So, yeah, most nerve-wracking thing in the world is taking off an FPV drone worth a few $1,000s, like $4,000, that has 8 propellers and 8 motors on it, with a $6,000 camera sitting on top, and a $1,500 lens on the front of it, and then being told to rip through this maze at high speed while they're turning lights on. And they didn't always get the lights on in time, the lighting guys, because they weren't sure how fast I was going to go. So it took a few trips. It was it was interesting. Terry Warfield, you're sick of me, dude. You just need to come up and hang out with me, man. Oh, you just need to come up and hang out with me. Let's see. That sounds scary. There's a DJI Mavic Air 2. So, yeah, there's an Air 2S coming out sometime, probably in the next month or so. So if you're going to buy a drone, wait just a bit, and let's see what DJI has up their sleeve. I don't think it'll be a massive improvement over the Air 2. I think it'll not worth making you sell your Air 2 and buy the Air 2S over. But I think there will be some improvement. I really, really want them to release a Mavic 3, but, who knows? Yes, Paul Feinberg, I'm doing it right now. So I have the A7S III is plugged in with USB for power delivery and charging the battery while it has eye detect on this eye right here right now. So let's see. Thoughts on why DJI only shoots in 3-minute segments? Brad, that generally has to do with the breakdown of file sizes and the block size and format of SD cards. So you can't shoot over 4 gigabytes or something like that. And it just has to do with how they write the files to an SD card. GoPro does the same thing. 4 gigabytes and it starts a new file, it's kind of a pain. But yeah, that's why I always tell people, if you're going to film with a drone, go out, set up your shot, and then film it, and then stop it, and set up your next shot. Don't just go on. Permafrost. Yeah, I know. You know about expensive payloads. Oh, let's see. Fight more films. How long have I been into drones or video in general? I've been into video for quite a while. I don't know. I mean, a while, 10, 15 years probably, just kind of on a side project. So drones I got into 5-6 years ago, started getting into them. And yeah. Bigger sensor OcuSync 3.0. Yeah. And I don't see it as being this massive upgrade from an Air 2. I just don't see it as being worth it to sell. Hey, post-color gear. Well, you could still return it and hold on just a little bit longer, man. What's the best drone I recommend for the absolute beginner? The Mini 2. The Mini 2 is a great drone for beginners. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, that's what I recommend. I don't, Paul. At least I don't think I do. I don't know what mine's set to right now. It might be set to mass storage. I haven't even looked. I should see, except for I think it'll stop the camera. Yeah, I'm not gonna look right now. I'll message you on Twitter after. Mike Farley, what's my picture profile settings on my A7S III? So right now, I am using the no picture profile standard stock settings from the A7S III with the white balance set correctly. And I really like it this way. It looks really good. It's pretty accurate, super easy. I like S-Cinetone, which is picture profile 11 sometimes. Depends on the conditions and what I'm filming. Interviews and stuff, S-Cinetone is fantastic. But yeah. And on the S-Cinetone, just so I don't have to do as much in post, I do the S-Cinetone. I push the saturation up +4. +5, +6 is too much, but +4 is about right for me. And then I bump the color phase to +2. And everything else I kind of do the rest in post. But yeah. Brad Henderson, you have the Mini 2 and the Mavic 2 zoom. Hoping to figure out the Mavic 2 Air is worth upgrading. Hold out for the Mavic 3. Yeah, Brad, that's kind of where I am too. I'm like, they need to do the Mavic 3. I don't know why they're doing an Air 2S before the Mavic 3, but it's DJI. Nobody knows why they do anything. Do I know anything about those lenses for cell phones? Are they worth it, John? The Moment lenses, they're good. With most cell phones now, you pretty much have that covered if you have a higher end cell phone, but yeah. Wow, that is a long screen name. Am I using my S Cinetone setup with the +4, +2? Not right now. This is no picture profile, the standard colors out of the A7S III. So if I switched it, which, let's see. Nope, wrong way. Whoops. I do this by memory. So that's my S Cinetone settings there. Big difference. Woo! I do like it. I like the skin tones and the highlights of S Cinetone. But whatever I was working on today, I was out in super bright sunlight, and the S Cinetone just didn't work out there. So, yeah. Anyway, but I do love the S Cinetone. Agree on the Mini, amazing machines for the money. Yeah, the Mini 2 is a freaking amazing little drone. It's just fantastic. Incredible. Michael Snyder, great channel. You have Mini Mavic 2 and A7R4 just sharing. Awesome. Great combo. Yeah, so I did film an entire video about matching drone footage and camera footage. I've got to edit it and put it together. Like most things, set some time down into editing. So, Mike Farley, you forgot that I love color grading. Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do. Now, there's a guy in the chat. I don't know if Dave Post Color Gear is in here. I think he likes color grading. He's also really good at it. I am terrible. I really suck at color grading. I'm just, yeah. Anyway, my definition of color grading is going in, lowering the shadows to just before they go below the 0 line, raising or lowering the highlights to where they're right at about 100 IRE, and then pulling the midtones, generally pulling the midtones down a little bit, because it helps things look more saturated. But again, it depends on how it was shot. Sometimes I have to push the midtones up because midtones are where flesh tones are generally at, and you know, depending on the lighting and stuff like that, it can be interesting. So yeah. Interesting, Lon. That'll be interesting to see. Yeah. DJI FPV or not. Elias? Oh, man. So I was flying it again today. Oh, can I show you that? Ooh, can I show you that? I might be able to show you that. But I was flying it again today. So it's okay. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing ever. You can even do a little freestyle with it. Let's see if I can do this while I'm talking. It's just that it's... like, compared to my FPV drones that I've built, it's not on the same level. Now, I probably, because it has OcuSync 3.0, I probably could have flown all the way through that cave without an issue. Let's see how this looks. Oh, will it even play it? See, it's going to do that. Let me see if I can go back here and do this. All right, I got to do this on the fly, so hold tight, everybody. So I think, oh no, that's good. Let's see, come on, there we go. This is me today, just messing around. Well, I had to film a little thing out here, so I went out and filmed a little thing. Putting it in manual mode, which is always interesting. Did I purposely wear my red jacket to match a red helicopter? No, Mark, but I do wear a red jacket most of the time, just so people can see me in the landscape. It really helps. So, Post Color Gear, you love it. I know, and you're really good at it. Like, you've got skills at it, Dave, but I just, you know, and I know it's one of those things. Like, if I spent some time on it, I would get better, but also, I don't enjoy it a lot. So, yeah. It's one of the reasons I don't shoot in S-Log 3. Just, if that doesn't make you dizzy, I don't know what will. But yeah, fun day. Beautiful weather. My hands were freezing after a very, very, very short time. And that was the reason I'm showing you this, is because that's basically all I did today. I was going to do more, and then I was like, no, I'm too cold. I'm tired of dealing with the cold. I'm done. So then I forgot I went around myself that many times. It's kind of dizzying. Yeah. I put it back in normal mode. I do like that about the DJI FPV drone, the fact you can put it in normal mode and then fly it like a regular GPS drone. Pop your goggles off and then just fly it like a regular drone, line of sight, which is really nice. I mean, you can fly an FPV drone line of sight too, but it takes a lot more skill. Connor! Hey, man. OcuSync is next level. Yes, I'm with you. I'm hoping that the Air Unit version 2 has the OcuSync 3.0 on it, or even the OcuSync 2.0. Well, no, that wouldn't work with the FPV goggles. I hope it has the 3.0. That would be amazing. T-Sizzle. No, Sony didn't send me. I'm not big enough to work with Sony yet, T-Sizzle. I'm hoping that'll happen in this year, but not yet. See, John Brand, the new Air, better sensor, better obstacle avoidance, probably work with the FPV goggles and OcuSync 3.0, maybe slightly better flight time, which is crazy because it already has really good flight time, but yeah. See, Ben Lockwood, fantastic. Get a gimbal for your phone, camera with a cheap gimbal. No, I just get a gimbal for your phone, man. The DJI, whatever the DJI mobile gimbal is really good. You can get that. Lon. Oh, let's see. Welcome to the stream, Connor. Hope you're doing well, man. I got my Sicarios all sitting in a box upstairs. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I did get here safely. So, Jude, good budget camera for real estate with a wide lens. Oh, depends on what your budget is, Jude. But I would look at the A6400 and a Laowa 9mm 0D for Sony. That's what I would get. Lon. No, but I don't know why Robinson, basically all R44s are pretty much stock painted that color red. That's like the thing. And then you have to special request another color for whatever reason. Anyway. On DJI FPV, what's with all those shots? So Kevin, all those shots, if you don't do the image stabilization and the warp, whatever they call it, warp compensation that's built into the drone, you will see the props all of the time. And even with it all, both of them on, you'll see the props every once in a while on real extreme movements. But yeah. That's right, Mike. So I did go out there and speed test the FPV drone, the DJI FPV drone, and I got up to 88, which is pretty good. Yeah, there may not have been a slight breeze helping me out, but yeah. All right, Paul, see you later. Sunrise, you have no idea. It is so difficult to judge how close you are to the ground when it's just snow like that. And especially if the light is flat, it's really hard. Yeah, Mark. That's about 40 minutes drive away, Brad. It's nice, though. It's a very nice area. Hey, Flightpath. I'm going to be sending you an email shortly with a link. Yes, they did, Lon. That's right. Yes, that's right. It's the DJI FPV drone is good. If they can improve the tune a little bit, that'd be fantastic. It's always going to be slightly underpowered, but you know, it is good and it's capable. And now that I've gotten the feel for it, doing acro stuff, it does acro okay. It can't pull out of acro moves as fast as my regular 5-inch drones can. Or as fast as my big 7-inch drone can, either, for that matter. Thanks, Permafrost. I appreciate that. It's pretty awesome. Kind of mind-blowing. It wasn't that long ago, a year and a half ago, I was like at 4,000 subs about this time a year ago, or a little over a year ago. Or 10,000. I guess I hit 10,000 a little over a year ago. Let's see. Sunrise. Oh, you're mean, man. Cruel. Yes, it is, Jude. Me too, Elsie. And they will. They'll improvement, or they will improve it incrementally over time. They always do on all their products. Yeah, that's what I'm figuring, Connor. So I'm kind of saving it for when I can get a good full day on it. Yeah, I'm excited to put it to use. I have a target for a time in April. I've got to get it done by then because I'll have access to a Komodo for a while in April. Yeah, Lon, that's right. Post-color gear as is gauging distance size like parallel parking in a car experience. You've seen FPV footage where they fly through things, and I'm sure I'd screw it up. Yes, it is very similar to that, actually. Yeah, it is one of those things that you get used to, and you start to understand 3D space looking at a 2D image, and you get the feel of it. Connor's another great FPV pilot. He and I actually worked together on the cat, the cat trial videos, and you get a certain point where you kind of get a feel for the space that you're looking at through the goggles. But yeah, it takes some practice, and there's lots of times where you'll think that you're closer to or further away from things than you actually are. Yeah, like there was a few times when I was doing the cat stuff where I'd be in a position waiting, and then later somebody who was on a regular camera would come up and ask me, "Did you know how close you were to that wall or bar or light or whatever?" And I always generally had an idea I was close, but a few times I was really close, I guess. Yeah. DJI drifts too much for your taste? Yeah, it drifts. Let's see. If you set up your S-Cinetone settings, shooting JPEG photos, we can assume the photo will have the same look if you're shooting video. No. Well, it depends. If you're shooting JPEG, it doesn't have the S-Cinetone settings. It has the kind of default standard colors in JPEG. If you shoot in RAW, then it's the RAW photo. And so you'll have to edit it from there. Kevin, somebody already asked that, actually. Somebody beat you to it. Well, I think I filmed about an hour of content for it, and so it's editing it, putting it together. I think I assuming it all turned out, so I'm going to probably go out and film another hour or so after I get through this and just kind of see where I'm at with what else I need to add in. And so getting closer. Let's see. You're terrible at parallel parking. Flying FPV tiny gaps pretty well. Yeah, Sunrise, I'm with you there. I'm a terrible parallel parker because we don't have much parallel parking up here, but yeah. Yeah, that's a good camera, Jude. Permafrost. Want to speak to some kids for a drone summer school this August, virtual or in person? Up to me. Yeah, man, sure. I'd be happy to do that. Hit me up. Shoot me some dates, because I do have some stuff happening in July and August that are already kind of hard dates. So, but yeah, shoot me some dates. Let's chat more about it and what you want me to cover. I'd love to do it in person. That'd be sweet. Let's see. Warm up here at Interior Alaska, Andre. That's awesome. I mean, it's warming down here too, and obviously that's relative. You guys in the interior get way colder temperatures than we do. I'm just ready for spring. I'm really, really ready for spring. Let's see. Work on predictability around practice key, corrective lenses. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Hey, Aerial Effects. Welcome. What are my thoughts on the Mavic 2 Air 2S? I don't really know yet, other than it'll probably have a little better image quality, a little better flight time, better optical avoidance. It probably will mesh with the DJI FPV goggles, the version 2 goggles, which would be kind of cool. Maybe it'll work with the motion controller. I think Lon was saying it might work with the motion controller, and it's supposed to have a little better flight time. Yeah, so I don't see it as being a big enough upgrade if you already own an Air 2 to be able to go, yeah, I need to buy the Air 2S and get rid of the Air 2. But if you don't own a drone at all, or if you're in the market to get a new drone, it's worth waiting for the Air 2S to see what it is. Mark H, not sure yet. Sometime this summer. There were some rumors of dates being thrown around today, actually, but I can't disclose any of those yet. So, but if I'm down there, I'm going to try and come down for an extra day or two, to have a spare day or two to be able to meet, set up a meet and greet or whatever and hang out and, or go fly drones or whatever. I would like to say hi to people. And I don't get out of Alaska that often, so I got to make use of that time when I am out of Alaska. Hernan, in the world of drones videography, do I recommend the Mavic Air 2 or the Mini 2? Hernan, if you have not ever purchased a drone before, get the Mini 2. And then stay tuned, because I will have a course about learning how to fly drones coming up soon. Yeah. Thanks. You're welcome, Ariel Effects. The lamp is pulsing, Kevin, because I did not get it on the right setting before I sat down to stream, and I realized it after I started the stream. Thanks for pointing out my failures. What are my thoughts? Michael asked, what are my thoughts on the FX3? So glad you asked, Michael. I will not be changing to the FX3. I think it's a great camera. It's clearly it's a good camera, but the A7S III still has a better auto white balance. It has, for some reason, it still has a little bit better focus. And there's a few other things like the EVF. I do photos with my A7S III too, so I need the A7S III because of the EVF. But I think if all you're doing is filming, that's it, 100%, then the FX3 it's a really good little cine camera that you can use. I probably, though, honestly, I would still lean toward the FX6 over the FX3. I would get an A7S III or an FX6. I don't think I would get the FX3 personally. It feels like the FX3 is built to go in their drone that they're going to release. Nautilus FPV. That's a cool name. Just bought an A7 III as your first full-frame camera. Was this a reasonable buy for 2021? Yeah, the A7 III is still a very solid, very good camera. Jude, am I a Canon or Nikon guy? Neither. I am a Sony guy. Used to be a Canon guy. I shot Canon for 20 years, and then because Canon would not give me all the options I needed in their bodies without going into like one of their cinema cameras, I switched to Sony a few years ago, and I haven't looked back. But they still make fantastic cameras. Especially the R5 and the R6 are very good cameras. Xiao? Yeah, sorry. Butchering it, I know. Sorry. What wax am I using for a video right now? Ask me that question again. I don't know what you mean by the wax. I think your spell check might have changed. You're welcome, Michael. Yeah, if you're in the market, I would lean toward the FX6 because you get the variable NDs. It's more of a proper cinema camera. You get the variable ND built in, internal. It's really a good ND. It's fantastic, actually. Yeah, or I'd go for the A7S III personally. Thanks, Kevin. Yes, if you want to, there are always affiliate links in the description of the video, and you don't have to click on the specific link for that product. You can click on the link and buy whatever you want, and it will support channels like mine. So that's a cool thing about affiliate links is you don't necessarily have to get a specific link for that thing. If you want to support a creator, if you want to help a creator channel out, then click any of their affiliate links and then just buy whatever you are going to buy, and it helps them out. So notice I'm not saying that about my channel specifically, just in general. Let's see. Sony needs to stop releasing things. Maybe have a 6-month break, Andy. Yeah, although I hate to admit it, I'm hoping they release the A7 IV early summer this year. Because one, I'd like to review it in the summer, not in the fall or winter. And yeah. Ooh, Ahmed, Aperture 120D or Godox SL150? Man, out of the two of those, I would say the 120D Mark II. But Aperture or Godox has also released the VF series And I would look at one of those. The VF150, I think that's one of the ones they make, is really spectacular. Excellent, excellent light. So that's what I would go to there. Igor, does more pixels always mean better picture quality? No, it does not. The pixels make a big difference on picture quality. So it does mean more detail, but not necessarily better quality. And especially in conditions like lower light, less pixels, larger pixels makes a better quality. And so, yeah. So that's why I love the A7S III. It's fantastic in low light. Which I've been trying all year to catch the aurora. I caught one briefly, but I have not been able to catch any of the massive aurora shows we've had yet. So I'm going to try one more. There's another one at the end of the month. I'm going to try and go catch it and hope for the best before, because that'll be it. The end of this month, and then that's it. It'll be too light all of the time to see anything. So. Kevin. Oh, you're awesome. Lee and Jason, you just got the FX3 and digging it? Awesome. It's a good camera. For me, with the A7S III, there's no reason for me to like cross grade to the FX3, but it's a good camera. I'm not dissing it. I don't mean to diss it, but yeah. Oh, Nuno, that's a good question. If you expose it correctly, how much of a difference is there from the A7S III to the A7S or A7 III, considering the 8-bit versus 10-bit? If you expose it properly and you are shooting in the standard color profiles, there's very little difference. The A7S III will have a little bit more dynamic range. The big difference will come if you shoot in a log profile and then somebody like Post Colored Gear comes along and color grades it. He will have a much easier time color grading the 10-bit color than the 8-bit color. But if you're properly exposing everything, it's not as much of an issue until you decide to color grade your image. Then that's where 10-bit really makes a big difference, is when it comes to color grading. And Post Color Gear can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah. So 10-bit, like you'll notice between 8-bit and 10-bit, the 10-bit will have a little bit in standard stuff, not in log, but in standard stuff, 10-bit will have a little bit more depth and richness to the colors, but if you're going to put it on social media, it doesn't matter. I used to joke about this when I was working in recording studios. It's like, here we are sitting behind a recording console that costs $1 million. And we're also like using microphones that cost tens of thousands of dollars, through microphone preamps that cost tens of thousands of dollars, through compressors that cost tens of thousands of dollars, and EQs that cost tens of thousands of dollars, all so that you can listen to that music on, these aren't $5 set of headphones, but then it was like the original white iPod headphones, on an MP3 file. Kind of laughable, but it's true. Yeah. So I think the best, for the A7 III, if you want to do color grading, the best thing is to shoot in HLG or HLG2 oh man, I gotta remember what I was shooting in, because I used to shoot in it a lot. Anyway, there's a log. Gerald London has a great video about it. But yeah, if you want to color grade, I think the best profile for the A7 III to be able to color grade was HLG2. You can form it to a 709 color space, because HLG is an HDR color space, and then you can color grade it, as far as you can go. Andre, yeah, and I keep missing those shows, and I'm so bummed about it. James, what about the 50mm 1.2 GM? Buy it. If you need a 50mm, it's going to be spectacular. I'm not going to buy it, but yeah. Any views on the XS10? Is that a... Oh, the Fujifilm XS10? I haven't used it, so I can't give you a lot. HLG3 and SLR2? Yeah, that's what you want there. Kevin, bit depths, profiles 422, and then someone renders it out at 4 megabits for Instagram. That's exactly right, Kevin. It's exactly right. Yeah, let's see. So I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. The XS10, the Fujifilm. Fujifilm makes some great cameras. The default out-of-camera colors in Fujifilm are always really, really nice because of Fujifilm's background in film, physical media film. So, yeah. Anyway, I think it'd be a great camera, but I haven't used it personally to know exactly what it's like. So, but from what I've seen, it looks pretty nice. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for the stream for this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week. And in the meantime, there will be at least one video coming out, maybe two if I can get off my behind and actually edit some stuff together. But yeah, and then I'm also trying to shoot a bunch of other stuff for clients and for the drone course. So pray for me that I get some sleep and can survive what I need to get done in the next couple weeks. Anyway. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of this channel. I really appreciate it. And yeah, until next week, be safe, everybody. Take care. And I'll see you again soon in the next video. Cheers, everybody.